Listen, in this video, I'm going to give you all the tea on everything you need to know about entrepreneurship. And these are going to be 10 things that your business coach is not going to tell you.
I love what I do, and I know they love it too. And my millions gon' come hands in the air. I'm number one.
What up, Kingdom Builders? Welcome back to my channel. I am Ebony Evaughn, your favorite business consultant in these internet streets. Welcome to Soul Struggling. This is my internet home where I help you go from confused to the ethical cash generating boss that we both know you are meant to be. In today's video, I really wanted to just touch on things that are lesser known in the world of entrepreneurship that I don't see a lot of discussion about, and that I know that business coaches typically will not tell you, especially if they are a business coach that focuses on helping you to start your business, right? When you look online, when you look on social media, you will see so many people talking about how they were able to build this wildly successful online business in 90 days, in 7 days. I even seen 7 days, and people know they be lying, child. And they say they were able to build this business in 90 days. Maybe in their first year of business, they were able to scale to 6 figures or $1 million. And while these things may be true, but things are not always as they seem. The reality is most coaches, regardless of whatever the transformation or result that they are promising you, they're going to make it seem really easy to achieve because that is how they make their money, right? And so you will often see coaches say oh, I'm a nobody and I didn't have a following. I didn't have an email list and I was able to get these amazing results, and you can do it too. And because it looks easy, because they have this simple 1, 2, 3 step process, you feel like it's going to be easy for you to achieve. And that is not necessarily always the case. So in this video, I want to give you 10 business truths about entrepreneurship that your business coach won't tell you, okay? So let's go ahead and jump right in with number 1. And this is that failure is a part of the journey. When it comes to entrepreneurship, I know when you look on social media, it looks like everyone has their life together. They have the perfect business. They know what they're doing. Everything always works seamlessly in their life and business is all going well and just so amazing. And the truth is that is not always the case. Listen, for the past year, a little bit over a year now at this point, I have been providing full service lunch support for a lot of my clients, right? And in this process of providing full service lunch support, probably the most eye-opening thing that I have learned is that regardless if I work with everything from solopreneurs to Fortune 500 companies, and regardless of the business structure, regardless of what level they are at, most businesses are busting at the seams when you go behind the scenes and actually look at their business structure. I have worked with 6, 7, 10-figure businesses that lack systems. Things are always breaking. You have literally, they hire people to do things manually because they break all the time and they have to double check their systems. And so when you look on social media and you look online, you don't see people talking about that aspect of their business, of the fact that, they're launching this new product or service and the tech doesn't work, or that they had a digital product and it was supposed to automatically send it to people when they buy it, but for whatever reason, a piece of their tech system was broke, so clients aren't getting their deliverables, right? People don't talk about that. When it comes to building a successful and sustainable online business, even if it's an offline business, failure is a part of the journey. You're not going to start your business and then just have win after win after win. You're going to have some pitfalls along the way. You're going to have some roadblocks along the way. There are going to be moments when you have to really assess where your business is and you're like, okay, I need to pivot. Maybe I need to do something different. Maybe you have to change your messaging, your branding, your audience. Maybe you have to change the products and services that you're offering so that it's more in alignment with the goals and vision that you have for your business. But at the end of the day, failure is a part of the journey. And even if you don't see other people going through failures, posting about it online, trust me, it is happening behind the scenes. People are just not talking about it. So don't feel bad if you experience some type of roadblock or setback on your entrepreneurial journey, okay? Now, the next thing that I want to talk about is people really don't talk about the fact that when you embark on the journey of entrepreneurship, it can really be a lonely and isolating journey, especially if you're a first-time entrepreneur, you're the first person in your family to do something different, and none of your friends are entrepreneurs. You can feel like you're kind of like the odd man out and you're doing something different, and it goes against the grain of, working a traditional 9-to-5. And so you won't feel like you have a community all the time to just, celebrate your wins or like talk about things that are going on in your business, because none of your friends or family are entrepreneurs. So they don't understand what that's like. And I don't think that people talk about this a lot, but it is something that a lot of people experience as entrepreneurs. It's feeling like they're isolated and they don't really have anyone to talk to about their wins or even failures when it comes to business. And I think that's why you see so many people gravitating towards online communities and spaces that are specifically for like-minded entrepreneurs. The next thing that I want to mention is the fact that as you are building your business, especially in the early stages when you are just getting started, you're trying to figure things out, is sacrifices are necessary. So a lot of times you'll see coaches that they promote the fact they can help you start this online business so that you can have time freedom, you can have financial freedom, and you could just live your best life, right? But in most cases, it's going to take time before you get to the point where you have that time freedom, where you have that financial freedom. In the early stages of building your business, you're probably going to be working more hours working on your business than you did in your traditional 9-to-5. I know when I first started my business, I was in a management position. So I was working probably 50-ish hours per week. And then when I started working on my business, I was probably putting in 72 hours per week trying to build my business on the side, right? And people make it seem like building a business is so easy, but when you are starting from scratch, it's going to take a lot of work. You have to dedicate a lot of time, and not only time, but it's going to take a lot of money. You have to build your website. You have to pay for marketing and advertising. You have to get business licenses. And depending where you are, that can be more or less expensive, right? So people don't really talk about the financial costs that go into actually building and funding your startup. Because in most cases, if you are a Nepo baby, if you don't come from wealth, you are building your business and also financing it yourself, and you don't have any additional support. And people don't really talk about the reality that starting a business is costly. You're going to have to invest a lot of money to get started. The next thing that I want to talk about is that, a lot of people make it seem like starting a business is just like, today you decide, hey, I want to be a coach, I want to be a social media manager, and then tomorrow you can just start pumping out offers and you're going to have all these clients flooding your business. And while that may appear to be how things happen on social media, in the real world, success takes time. And that's one of the reasons I kind of started my channel, and I wanted to start focusing more on like building effective coaching programs and on my private podcast, I talk about how to unleash your marketing, because you can see all these marketing messages where it talks about how to make 100K in 90 days or how to make 10K in 10 days. And when you see people showcasing or highlighting these results, yes, they might have made 100K in 90 days. Or I know like around Black Friday, you'll see a lot of small businesses that go viral for making like $1 million in like one day or like 90 minutes with their Black Friday sales. And while that is amazing, that's great for them, people start thinking like, well, dang, I want to have 100K lunch too. But they don't realize that this person has been in business for 7 years. And while they might have had a $1 million lunch in 90 minutes for this particular Black Friday sale, this is their 10th time offering a promotion like this, and it's finally paying off for them. No one talks about the first time that they launched and they didn't make anything, or the first time they launched, they maybe only made $5,000 or $8,000 or $500, right? So success is not like going 0 to 100 and you're going to be at your end goal overnight. Success takes time, right? You want to focus on hitting many milestones so that you can get to those big goals. And don't feel like you're behind just because you see other entrepreneurs online who are hitting these, you know, what most people would consider huge or milestones that really kind of make them successful. You want to make sure that you're focusing on your own race and on your own journey and celebrating your wins, no matter how big or small they are. Like, focus on your own journey, okay? Now, I have to talk about this since we're talking about people having these huge milestones. One of the things that really irritates me when it comes to business coaches is people will always make it seem like anyone can make money online. But the reality is, when it comes to making money online, your financial success is uncertain. You're not guaranteed to make any specific amount of money. And if you have a traditional job, you have a 9 to 5, whether you are paid hourly, you are paid salary, you know that, okay, at the end of the week, every Friday, I'm going to perform this list of job duties and I'm going to get paid this amount of money. Or you may know I get paid on the 1st and 15th, every other Friday, once a month. If you're educated out there on a monthly payment, you know that every single month, every single week, every single 1st and 15th, you are going to get paid. In entrepreneurship, your revenue is not guaranteed. You don't know if you're going to get paid this week, next week. You could have one promotion that does really, really well. One week you may make $8,000. The next week you may make $800. The week after that you can make $8, right? Your revenue is not always going to be predictable. Now, granted, there are systems and processes that you can put in place if you have effective marketing, if you have the right systems and processes set up in your business, where you can kind of predict how many leads or how many sales you're going to generate. But in the grand scheme of things, when it comes to entrepreneurship, making money is not guaranteed, and your income and revenue can fluctuate over time, whether that's week to week or month to month, season to season. And people make it seem like once you start your business that, you know, the revenue is just going to flood in and it's going to keep coming. And honestly, what I've noticed with a lot of my clients when they hire me for full service lunch support is because when they do their first initial launch of their business or a specific product or service, it's typically pretty easy because it's the first time that they're launching it. And so the sales come in a lot easier. But when it comes to reoccurring launches where they're launching something maybe over and over and over again, it opens and closes from time to time, that the more they relaunch the same offer, the harder it is to actually sell. And that's because people have already seen it before, right? So either you have to reposition it to the same people in a different way, or you have to constantly be trying to generate new leads so that you can get your offer in front of a new group of people. So hopefully that is making sense. But trust me, your revenue as an entrepreneur, it can go up. You can have some really, really high months, and you can have some really, really, really low months, okay? And that's just a reality. The next thing that I want to mention is business coaches are not going to tell you that you have to continuously learn new things. The way I like to say it is you have to be a student of your profession. One thing that people don't really talk about a lot is the fact that starting a business, if you don't have a business background, you don't have any business experience, is going to be a long learning curve, because you have to learn the business skills required in order to build a business. You have to learn how to market. You have to learn how to use different sales strategies. You have to learn how to operate a business, right? And you have to learn how to manage all the different logistics that go on behind the scenes when it comes to connecting your tech so that everything is talking to each other. And when it comes to actually setting up different marketing channels and strategies, when it comes to understanding key performance indicators, your KPIs that can tell you how your business is doing so that you can make better business decisions and you're not making emotional decisions, right? You have to learn the business of actually being an entrepreneur. And if you're not just naturally business savvy, if you're not naturally tech savvy, then you can struggle when it comes to actually developing your business, because there's a greater learning curve there. People make entrepreneurship look easy, but it is not. The next business truth that I want to mention is the fact that when it comes to entrepreneurship, this is not a one-man journey. You cannot go on this journey as a solopreneur forever. You cannot go along your solopreneur journey forever. You cannot do it all alone. I know a lot of times in the beginning you want to save money, so you feel like you're going to wear all the hats. You can't afford to hire anyone else. So you are the social media manager, you're your own copywriter, you're your own marketing manager, you are the operations manager and the CEO. You are doing all the things in your business. And while you may be able to do this in the beginning, it's only going to get you so far, because there's going to become a point when your business starts to grow and you realize that you're the bottleneck in your business. Everything is being kind of funneled and stuck in this place because you are holding up the process. Orders can't be processed because it's waiting for you to go in and actually click a button, right? Or maybe you want to launch something new, but you can't launch it because you still have to write your sales messages and copy. You want to be able to maybe host a webinar, but you have to do the slides and the presentation. You have to write the emails, and you're the only person doing all the things. And so you create roadblocks in your own business. One of the most important business lessons that I learned about scaling from 6 to 7 figures is, like, you may get to 6 figures as a solopreneur doing all the things by yourself, but if you truly want to be able to scale and grow your business, you're going to have to bring in other people. You're going to have to start giving your role away so that you can actually make room for growth in your business. And I think that was probably the biggest realization that I had. Like, at first, when you're trying to get to not even just 6 figures, but like you're just trying to make money in your business, you're just doing whatever to get the sale, and you do it all. And then there becomes a point to where it's like, okay, if I want to be able to grow, like right now, maybe you're doing one-on-one coaching, and you can only coach so many people at one time. So in order for you to grow and scale, that means okay, I'm going to have to hire additional coaches that can also coach people one-on-one, or maybe I need to create a new program, maybe a group coaching program, or you can do a conference or a live event where you can serve more people at one time. But these are just some things that you have to think about. But in order to do that, you have to build a team. You have to hire support and experts who, instead of you trying to be all the things in your business, you can hire a copywriter that can handle all the copywriting. You can hire a sales manager that can conduct sales calls. You can hire a graphic designer to create your email pictures or your social media pictures, and you're not the person who's doing every single component or activity in your business, because there's going to come a point where you're going to be slowing yourself down. And that takes me into the next point, which is self-care is important, okay? A lot of people will promote hustle culture, and it's like team no sleep, team grind 24/7. And while you may make a lot of sacrifices in the beginning where you have to work long hours, there's going to become a point where that's no longer sustainable. You're going to start to notice a change in maybe your productivity level, the actual results that you're producing for your clients, and just your overall health and well-being. When I was still working a 9 to 5, I had a really good director who was amazing. She would let me literally like host one-on-one coaching calls in our conference room. I would do webinars in there, and she was like, listen, as long as you do your job, as long as your projects are done, I don't care what you do, right? And so I'm always thankful that she supported me like that. And we went to a lunch a while back, and when we went to lunch, you know, I've gained a little weight. You know, I be wearing my t-shirts and my shorts or jeans and my biker shorts. And it was funny because she was like, Ebony, like, what happened, right? And she was like, I remember when you were working, you would literally, like, I literally would go to work. I would always have, especially I love spring and I love fall, I will always have on like my little sundresses, my little springtime dresses, and my heels and wedges. And like I would be walking in work confidently, putting one heel in front of the other, like just living my best life. And then when I would leave work, I would take my gym clothes with me. And so I would go in the bathroom and I would change out of my spring dresses and put on my gym clothes and go directly to the gym after work 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. And so when I met up with her for brunch, she was just like, what happened? She was like, are you good? Are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm good. But I hadn't really realized the fact that once it came to entrepreneurship, like I would find myself getting so busy and so focused on like getting something done in my business that the first thing I started to neglect was my own self-care, was my own well-being. If I needed to finish the slides for my workshop, or I knew I had a strategy session coming up that I needed to prepare for, the first thing that went out the window was me going to the gym. Workout, gone. What workout? I got to focus on what I'm doing right now, right? And then outside of that, once I jumped into full-time entrepreneurship, I would literally get to the point to where I would forget to eat at time. I would forget to stop and take breaks. I could literally be in my office and work 8, 9, 10 hours straight, not even realize that I've been working that long, and I haven't eaten all day. I haven't answered any phone calls, responded to text messages, because I was so focused on doing what I was doing. And so my health was impacted in a lot of ways. My doctor put me on blood pressure medicine, and like I gained weight, and just all the things were happening, right? And I share that to say that even if you're sacrificing your time with family and friends, you're sacrificing, you know, going to the gym or doing your natural hobbies and interests that you may have participated in before your business, you want to make sure that you're being mindful of that and that you're setting limits for yourself. So even if you're like, okay, I'm going to keep working because I need to get this done, like reschedule that time in and be like, okay, I'm going to reward myself. And this is what I do now. I'd be like, all right, I'm going to work for 3 hours and then I'm going to reward myself and I'm going to stop and I'm going to go like walk for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, or I'm going to go have my favorite. I love me some buns from Nothing But Cakes. So I'll be like, okay, I'm going to give me a treat, right? So you want to make sure that you're not neglecting your self-care and your health as you're actually trying to grow your business. Health is wealth. The next business truth that no one ever talks about is the fact that when it comes to entrepreneurship, you have to be adaptable. Like, things are not always going to go as planned. Things are not always going to work out as you expect them to, but you have to understand that that is okay and just pivot as you have to, adapt to changes, and understand that, you know, sometimes that's what's necessary to keep things moving in your business. And I think the biggest example of this is probably going to be COVID, right? In 2020, the whole world shut down and 90% of businesses were not just business as usual. People had to pivot in order to still sustain their revenue. The truth is, business is dynamic, and having the ability to quickly adapt in your industry and the market is going to be a competitive advantage for you, because you have a lot of people, if they don't have critical thinking, if they don't have adaptability, then they're slow to make changes, and it's going to impact their revenue, it's going to impact their results, it's going to impact how they're able to actually grow and scale their business. So trust me, adaptability is a marketing advantage, okay? All right, so last but not least, and I probably should have mentioned this first to kick off this list, but we're going to wrap up with this, okay? And that is the fact that success is subjective. And I want to mention this for the simple fact that when you look online, it is easy to get wrapped up in feeling like your level of success needs to mirror someone else's, right? When you see all these messages of people with 6-figure businesses or 7-figure businesses, or they have 10,000 subscribers or followers, you can feel like, in order for me to be successful, I have to have a 6-figure business. In order for me to be successful, I need to have at least 10,000 followers, right? And the thing is, number one, if you actually look behind the scenes in a lot of these people who are making these claims, a lot of the people that, you know, are saying they have 6 and 7-figure businesses, they may actually have that. But what I've noticed with working with some of them is, even though they're making that level of revenue, they're still living paycheck to paycheck. They don't tell you they're making $50,000 a month, but they're spending $40,000 on ads in order to make that, right? Or people may have 10,000 Instagram followers, 50,000 Instagram followers, but they're still broke. Like, I literally had a consultation with a TikToker who has 300,000 TikTok followers. And you know how much money she's making from all these followers on TikTok? $0 with 300,000 TikTok followers. So don't feel like that when you see people saying that they've met these specific metrics, that makes them successful, or that you have to meet those metrics in order to be successful. You don't have to have $1 million business in order to be successful. If you're making $50,000 in your business, but in your 9 to 5 year salary was only $30,000, you're making an additional $20,000. Like, that is still a success. You are doing better in your business than you were in your 9 to 5, right? And I remember when I first started my business, I was still working in HR. I was only making $33,000 a year as a training instructor. And my goal was to replace my salary. Like, I didn't have a vision of having a 6-figure business or anything like that. I just wanted to be able to replace my salary. I was like, maybe if I'm making $33,000 in my job, maybe I could do that on my own. Like, I wasn't thinking that I had to have a like 6 or 7 figure business. Like, yeah, that's nice if you can get to that level, but you don't have to be at that level in order to be a success. Success is something that you have to define for yourself. So for me, success is all about being able to live the life that I want to live worry-free. And so, I am a full-time digital nomad, and I love to travel from place to place. And so as long as I can afford for my tickets and my housing, to eat good, to pay for excursions and different experiences, and I still have a good nest egg and emergency fund so that I can get back home and I don't have to worry about if I can afford to pay for an emergency flight home if I have to, then that is success to me. I can live worry-free and do the things that I want and participate in life at the level that I want to participate. I don't have to have a $1 million business in order to do that. And so if you don't get anything else away from this video, define success for yourself. What does success look like for you? What does it mean to you? And just kind of start there and try to build a roadmap so that you can get to your level of success, and not necessarily what looking at other people you feel like success should be. All right. So those are my 10 business truths for you that most business coaches are not going to tell you about the reality of entrepreneurship. Let me know down in the comments below this video, what are some other things that you have learned on your entrepreneurial journey that you feel like is not widely discussed or that people don't talk about. All right. But I want to thank you guys so much for stopping by my internet home. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on those notifications so you will be the first one to get notified anytime I upload a brand new video just like this. Bye, y'all.